guys, I'm back on the field after not being able to do any metal detecting for about 2 or 3 weeks. The weather was too hot one week, the weather was too wet, and then the nights are closing in, so really I've only got the weekends, but I've got a couple of hours now that I can get out on the field. I wasn't going to do a video, but I don't know whether you can see, I found a coin, it looks like. So I thought we'd have a look at this together. So it's, I can't see that. Let me just see if I can get some light. There we go. So it's a Queen Elizabeth II. And it's a 10p. Excellent. So that was my second signal. My first signal was looked like a bit of brass buckle. I'll show you that in the roundup, hopefully, if this video does actually get uploaded. On to the next. Okay guys, so I haven't been finding much of interest. I found a big square piece of iron and about 3 pieces of aluminium. Came across this signal, thought, yep, that's definitely diggable. I think what we have is a 6p. Now I think it's George V. Looking at the back of it, I think you can make out the word George's there, or Gorgeous George, as the Scottish detectorist calls him. So this is, if this is a 6p, then this is silver, and if it's before 1920, it will be 90% silver. So well chuffed with that. Second coin found today so far. The ground is quite wet when I'm kneeling down on it, although it doesn't look it. When I'm kneeling down on it, I'm getting quite wet patches on my knees, and I'm wondering if that's helping with the signals, just a bit of moisture in the ground to help with that. So that is fantastic. This is only it's my third silver coin actually, isn't it? I've found since metal detecting. I found the Victoria 3p. I found the cut half hammered coin, and then the 6p. So very good. Let's go on to the next. So I found another couple of pieces of, in fact I found a ring pull, which I very rarely find. So I found a couple of pieces of aluminium, and then I've just found this, which looks like it's metal that's folded over something. Initially I thought it might have been like a 303 cartridge, but I don't think it is. So not quite sure what that is. Perhaps we'll be able to identify it a bit better once I've cleaned it up. But it's a lovely day out here today. As I say, I've only got a couple of hours, but I'm grateful for that. It's just great to be out again. On to the next. So my third coin of the day. Pulled out another couple of pieces of trash. I am cherry picking. I'm trying to find the best signals in order to dig. And I've just pulled this out. I think this is going to be a Queen Elizabeth II penny. I can't quite see it through the screen, and it needs a bit of a clean up, but I think that's Queen Elizabeth's head on there. So, but at least it's a coin. You know, I do love finding my coins. On to the next. This is another first for me. That is the top off, or the end of a spoon, and I think they were called apostle spoons. Now I don't think this is silver, it may have been silver plated, and I think you can identify which apostle is on the spoon by obviously the way the figure has been created. So it'll be interesting to see if I can actually identify which apostle this is. But I've watched obviously probably hundreds of YouTube metal detecting videos, and it's really useful to do so, because obviously those experienced detectorists can give you a lot of information about the items they find, which is how I know this is what it is. Fantastic. On to the next. I wasn't going to dig this, but I'm glad I did, because I think that is my first ever padlock. So on everybody's bucket list, I think, as a detectorist. So my first ever apostle spoon, my first ever padlock on this field. Excellent, excellent. Right, on to the next. Just found this, guys, having dug another 3 or 4 pieces of tat. I know what I want this to be, but I think I'm gonna have to leave it to the wrap up. I will put this on a forum or two to see if anybody can identify it. I need to clean it up just a little bit more before I do so, but my heart is in my throat at the moment, because if it is what I think it is, then it's just unbelievable. So we shall see on the wrap up. Just found this lovely, I think it's a stud, because I think that's part of the nail where it would have been driven into something. Now what kind of stud it is, I don't know. Is it off furniture, or is it off clog? I really don't know, so hopefully somebody will be able to tell me on one of the forums. Another nice find. Okay, so on to the wrap up. The first thing I thought I'd show you is the 10p that we found. These 2 coins, unfortunately I can't get any detail off them. That almost looks like a sixpence design, with all the bumps on it, but as I say, I can't positively identify it as being that. So that's the first 3 items. Next is this. This is an actual sixpence that you saw me find, and this is George V, and it's from 1929, so it's not 90% silver, it's 50% silver, because it's after 1920. But nevertheless, a wonderful little find, and only my 3rd silver coin found since I started metal detecting. Here we have the top end of apostle spoon. The very early apostle spoons from the 1600s, the effigy of the apostle was, I think, almost 3D at the end of the spoon. So this is a much more modern 1930s chrome plated spoon with the effigy of an apostle on there. Now you are supposed to be able to tell which apostle it is from the original, like, 1600 spoons, but whether they went into that detail for the more modern ones, I don't know. I certainly can't, having looked on the internet, I can't see any difference in the various apostles, but perhaps I'm missing something. But that was a nice little find. So this is a brass buckle that I found. It was the first item I found on the field, and I mention it in the video. So I put this on a forum, and somebody suggested that it was a horse harness pivot, but the problem with that is you can see that it's got like a hexagonal design to where it fits there. Obviously if it was meant to pivot, then it would be just a cylinder so that it could rotate round or inside something. So using the information I got that it was part of like horse tack, I had a look at some other stuff, and this could possibly be a fitting for a bell that that would be put on a horse for various reasons, whether it was just decorative or whether it was functional. And I think this part and the end there would have, the bell would have come off there, and this would have been either pushed in or you would think that they were like soldered on or something like that. But for the moment, that's what I'm going with, that it was like a horse harness bell. And again, it's possibly quite modern, 1940s at the latest, because of course horses after the war tended to no longer be used on farms, and it was more tractors and that sort of thing. So quite an interesting find, you know, 80 years, possibly 100 years old. So onto this thing, quite a shock with this, I've got to admit, guys. It's just a bit of a tube, as you can see, after I've cleaned it out. And it don't look much at all, does it? But it's been suggested to me that this is the metal end of a scabbard for a dagger. And it possibly dates, get this, it possibly dates to the 15th, 16th century. I thought it was a bit of tat, I gotta admit, and I wasn't expecting anything, but yeah, I put it on the forum, and basically somebody came back and said that it's a chape. I didn't even know what a chape was. I had to ask what is a chape, and they directed me to an antiquities site, which basically told you what it was. So this is fantastic. You know, it almost was the star of the show for this particular visit, but it pushes the field back again to the medieval period. So talking about the star of the show, let's have a look at it. So I hope you recall this from the video, where I basically said my heart was in my throat rather than my heart's in my mouth. It's not what I thought it was. I've been informed that this is a medieval token, again from the like 1400, 1500s, but they can be as late as 1800, believe it or not. But the portable antiquities scheme, I sent it to them, and they came back with a date of 1400, 1500. So again, we're talking about a period same as that chape. So what did I think it was? Well, I've got to be honest with you, I thought it was a Celtic coin. I'd seen designs on the Celtic coins similar to this, and that's why I got all excited about it. If we flip it over, we can see that there isn't really anything on the reverse. So there you are. As I say, there's no real detail on the reverse of that at all, and I think that's why it points to a token. The only thing I would suggest, if I flip it back, is I am slightly still leaning to the fact that it is part of a Celtic coin, but I can't prove that. So that's it, guys. You know, loads of interesting items come out of the field. It was really good visit. As I said on the video, it was the most coins I've found on any one visit, which is great stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting back there. I have got a new permission to visit, and I'm going to go on that next, so we'll see how that will pan out. But I really do want to get back to this field and see if I can find any more medieval items, because that will really you know, pinpoint the date of the activity in that field. But twice now I have been close to going even further back. There was a coin that I found which was in really bad condition. I could imagine a head on one side and a standing figure on the other side, and I thought it was Roman, but nobody has confirmed that. It's just in such a poor state. And then there's this, where again, you know, I thought it might be Celtic, but it's pointing to medieval, and it's almost like tantalising that, you know, if we could get this field to go back to those periods, it would be fantastic. And again, it would be my first Roman coin that I ever found, and my first Celtic coin. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, look after yourselves, and I'll catch up with you soon.